Hello there. Good afternoon. Welcome to Entrepreneurial Live Interviews with Connie Fuchsa. Today, I have the absolute amazing pleasure to share with you guys a lady that I was so fortunate enough to be invited to be on her show several years ago. I met her through another entrepreneur that I know, a really smart lady that also was doing some interviews with this lady. And I am so impressed with the energy and the know-how and her just attitude about business and life. And I just can't wait to share with you. Casey Baker, thank you so much for being with me today.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. Thank you again.
Absolutely. Well, guys, the reason that we do these interviews is because I want to share with you some amazing people that have just seen opportunities and decided to take advantage of them. Whatever the reason, they saw something that really needed to be changed in our world and knew that they had the presence to be able to do that. And I want to share with you their stories because, I think a lot of us have a confusion out there that people that are in the entrepreneurial space just have a magic button and they hit it and, then they can live the life they want and all of these magical things happen, which is absolutely not even close to the truth. And so what I like to do about sharing these stories is so you can hear the journeys that these folks have, but not only the successes that they have, but the struggles too, because we all go through these things. And I want you guys to understand the magic that these people put in, the hard work, the dedication, and particularly somebody who has a story like Casey. So Casey, tell us a little bit about you. I want you to share with everybody who you are, where did you come from, what got you to where you are right now, and what are you doing right now? Share that with us as well.
Okay, well, Casey Baker, I am really a person that was planted in this area. I'm originally from the New Jersey area, and I come from a mom who was in the medical field and my dad who worked in pharmaceutical. And, my mom was always the one who would say, whatever you do in life, make sure you make a difference. Make sure you help someone. Make sure you enjoy whatever it is that you do, because you're going to be doing it for the rest of your life until you decide to retire. So I have spent my whole life trying to figure out what I want to be when I grow up. And so I guess I would be classified as that serial entrepreneur, because I've done so many different types of businesses. And ironically, I ended up in the financial industry, not even liking numbers. So it's, God is funny, because I ended up dealing with numbers, but I've done a little bit of, I catered for a while, had a catering company. I had a business management consulting firm for 19 years. I flipped homes for a while. I was in real estate. Then I did mortgages. So I ended up here. Ironically, I've done this with everything else that I was doing. I still helped people out financially as a business manager. You're really involved with everyone and their finances and anything that they really need help with. So Casey Baker and Associates has evolved. Okay. And we've evolved into this life insurance broker. And so I've been here for over 30 years, and we have 2 offices in the Washington Metropolitan Area. And my job still is to mentor, to educate, to train, whether it's other insurance agents or brokers, or it's my clients, to get them to understand that they have to learn the money game. And it's all about making sure that you leave a legacy and making sure that you create wealth for you and your family. So all of that being said, however that looks individually for a person's household or for the business is what I do, is what we do at Casey Baker and Associates. So, it could be as small as a budget, someone not really understanding that they do have enough to help them create wealth, and showing them, well, you're spending too much here. You can't buy breakfast, lunch, and dinner out every day. Treat yourself, take some of those funds and pay yourself first. So for me, it's about the education of money and having people understand that you got to pay yourself first. When things happen, even like in this environment now, in COVID, where so many people are losing their jobs and so many people are just trying to figure out how to feed themselves, their family, keep the lights on, the heat on. But if you had a financial plan, that you had money someplace sitting, when these types of things happen, all you would have to do is go to your bank, go to your finances and pull money to move it to help you go to, wherever that is that you need to go or spend, or food or gas or your mortgage or something like that. We have to be proactive. So I show people how to do that in a nutshell.
Wow, so powerful. So first, what I want to do is I want to go backwards just a little bit, because this is exactly the kind of, of course, you and I know each other from several different things. So of course I knew you were perfect for the show. But what I wanted to go back to first was your comment about being a serial entrepreneur. Your mom said something to you that, really is what we all think that we hope to subscribe to, is that, make a difference, do something that makes a difference. And so people say find your why, or, figure out what you're passionate about. But
Right.
at the end of the day, it isn't necessarily what you're doing in the big picture. It's what that meat and potatoes boils down to. And in your case, it's helping people get their picture together, whatever that looks like. It's not even about the numbers and the finance. It's more about understanding what they have and figuring out how to best use it. And that's your business manager, your, real estate, mortgage, all of these different things that you did have that same theme. And so you just had to find out where the perfect nut was for you. That's what I hear you saying.
Exactly. Yeah. And I love it, to the point where, even when you have trials and tribulations in your life. And I remember speaking with a girlfriend, and she was like, you're here this time, you're in California or in New York, you're traveling back and forth. And she was like, I don't understand how you keep up. I'll call you and I'll be like, where are you? And I'll be in Cali. And she's like, how do you do it? And I said, but you know what I do, it's not a job. It really is a passion. It really is something that I get so much pleasure by sitting across the table from a husband and a wife, or a business team, and they're looking for strategies to help their employees, or the husband and wife who, are thinking about having a baby and they want to save money for their college fund. So, creating these strategies that help people get to their end financial goal, I get such pleasure out of it. So if I'm working 10 or 12 or 14 hours and I'm traveling all across the globe, I'm having such a great time that people are like, you're crazy. You're crazy. I'm like,
wonderful.
no, I love it. I just love it, so go ahead.
That's wonderful. So let's go back and talk for a minute about the business side of this, because obviously you had a catering business, you had a business management business, a real estate is a business, being a mortgage broker or a mortgage loan officer is a business. And now somewhere you went into the next phase, which was Casey Baker and Associates. So talk to us about the business side. So at some point, you went through these different steps to try to figure out where you wanted to be. And at some point you decided to open this financial strategy business. How did that evolve? What made you decide, all right, I'm going to do this. I'm going to open a business instead of working for somebody else. How did that work for you?
Okay. So since high school, really, I tried to do something. And coming to this area, Casey Baker and Associates actually started as a business management consulting firm with the financial piece in it, but it was an add-on versus my sole business. Okay. And so when 9/11 hit and I lost pretty much all of my main contacts, because I was a government contractor, I was 8A certified. So I did a lot of contracts with the federal, district, and government. When that kind of went down, then I had to kind of decide what I was going to do. So that's when the other businesses kind of came along, and I said, well, okay, I can try the catering because I love to cook. And, as far as flipping homes, I mean, I was already doing that on the side, but I thought about something that you really didn't have to worry about, the government paying you and you chasing the money once the project was over. And working with people and dealing with insurance carriers directly made it easier. So I kind of cut out the middleman when it came down to, once the project was done, you got paid. So once the project got done, you didn't have to send out letters. You didn't have to make phone calls. This is due 30 days, 60 days, 90 days. So that's how I kind of ended up just doing this solely, because I got the gratification from working with people. I love people. I love helping people. So it was easier for me, and it just kind of evolved.
Nice.
just kind of evolved.
Yeah, and I think that's, there's a common theme there that happens when when we're talking to different people is, you start following where the line leads you and where the things that make you happy lead you, and things start falling into place. I mean, for me, obviously, and a lot of people do know that, for a long time I had my own business that was a title company. I didn't wake up and say as a child and go, oh, I want to, run a title company. Nobody knows what that is. But
Right.
I mean, but at the end of the day, I'm with you. You find the piece that's inside of that, and that's what's making it work for you. And so you started this. So how do you go from now you started a business that is, well, you had a business and it's evolved, which is very interesting too, because that's another piece. And you touched on this, and I want to get back to that in a minute, but you touched on this evolving as things change, because, business isn't this magic little tripod that drops down and you sit there and, it just runs. You're constantly changing and evolving. So talk to us a little bit about that, because I think that's a piece that people don't totally get, that it's okay, especially as you touched on, going through what's going on right now.
Well, being in business for yourself is hard. People think it's easy, because somehow it looks easy from, people looking in. It really isn't. It's just a matter of you having a plan, a strategic plan of what you want to do, and understanding that change is a part of the growth and the evolution of every business. And you've got to be adaptable, and you've got to be welcome and open to the things that make us evolve into changing. Because if you don't, your business is going to kind of get left behind, and it doesn't matter. The core of every business, what you should do, how you should do it, the marketing, payroll, being able to stay on top of, your clients and being in contact with your clients, it really is the same. The core of every business kind of functions the same way. If you're in a service industry, so knowing that is kind of is the piece that you don't have to worry about. And the fear, people don't go into business because of the fear of the unknown. Well, life itself is unknown. You're kind of walking around not really knowing what's going to happen. Being in business is almost the same thing. But if you walk with faith and you know that in your heart, you're doing something to help, to make a difference, things will just kind of go along. If you're doing the right thing, saying the right thing, helping people, and you're doing it from your heart and you're not chasing money, it's going to happen.
Yeah.
It's going to happen.
Absolutely correct. That's absolutely true. And so I love that phrase that you said, change is part of the growth, because that's absolutely a fact. I mean, it's constantly changing and things are constantly moving. So, okay, let's talk about this. So you have the business management firm, 9/11 happens, which who could have predicted, right? And, things like this happen in our world. So when these things happen, you're figuring out, what does that change look like? But in your case, so now you've pivoted into more the financial services kind of situation. And you started not only taking on clients, but you also started taking on associates to work with you. So talk to us about that, because that's a big step too. I mean, a lot of us, when you're in business, try to decide, okay, when are we going to start hiring people, or when are we going to start opening our business up to other people? We're not doing it all ourselves. What does that look like, and how do we get past that? What is that catapult?
Okay, well, in the insurance industry, you have a choice. You have a choice to work with someone, a company, and be a W-2 employee, or you have a choice to be an independent. And if you're independent, you have the right to be a broker, which means you're now training others to be like you. And so I did both. I started out working with another company and saw what they wanted you to do. And for me, it was still like they were telling me what I needed to sell. And when I look at me as being a customer, I don't want an agent who is going to sit across from me and is going to tell me that the company that they work for has everything that I need. Because in the global world, really, one company doesn't have everything that you need when it comes down to having a balanced portfolio. So what I did was I looked at the other side, being a broker. And for me, being able to be appointed or or aligned with any insurance company that I want to be with puts me in a better position to help everyone. Nice. Versus not helping everyone. You can't sit in front of someone and help the mother and can't help the father because of some issues. So that to me is hurtful if I walk out of a family and I can't help everyone. So being on the broker side, being able to sit down with a company or a husband and wife, and let's just say that the wife has some underlying health issues and she couldn't get any type of insurance. Well, as a broker, I can research all the different companies out there and find a company that can help her. Whereas if I'm working with someone in a W-2 situation, I can only supply those plans with the company that I work for. So it puts me in a better position, and as far as I'm concerned, there is no competition because I'm the person that's going to be researching the information. It's like, if you need some help, whatever it is, it could be, like I said, budgeting, it could be retirement, it could be life insurance, it could be mortgage protection. It doesn't matter. If you sit in front of me, there's no way that I'm not going to be able to help you because I have the access to the 900 different insurance carriers out there. If I'm not appointed with them, I will get appointed with them so that I can help you.
Nice. I love it. So that's the creativity of not just having a standard open walk in the door business where you have figured out in your industry how to make sure that you have the tools that you need to be able to structure that for everybody. So, so you actually have 2 locations. So can you give us where those are so people who are following us can see what, how they might find you that way?
Okay, so I have an office at the National Harbor and I have an office in Tyson's. And now with the COVID environment, pretty much everybody is home now anyway. For sure. But we are in all 50 states. So it doesn't matter where you are across the country. If you need some type of assistance, if you need a financial advisor, a financial planner, if you need someone to do some classes on financial literacy, we're here to help. It's just, we're a phone call away. Yeah, we're a phone call away.
So I want to talk about something else that's totally different here. And I want you to share the magic of this book. So this lady is a published author very recently, and I want you to share the other side of Casey Baker and tell us all about her and how you got to writing a book.
Well, okay. I am a cancer survivor of yeah. And I'm here to tell you that going through that whole cancer, not knowing what was going to happen, trying to figure out, who you're going to listen to. I was able and fortunate enough to have a cancer team and an oncologist, a cancer doctor, and a holistic doctor. During this whole process of literally being on my deathbed, I had time to really just soul search and pray and talk to God. And one crying day, I remember this like it was yesterday. I was in bed and I was in so much pain and I couldn't literally move. My kids literally had to come back to help me, even just to go to the bathroom. And something just said, you really have to write this down and share some of the ups and downs that you have gone through. And I'm going to tell you, Connie, I literally cried because it was like, I'm a very private person. I don't wear
I totally get it.
Yeah, my emotions on my sleeve. And it gotten to the point where it was like, how can I tell and how can I help if I don't disclose really what happened? So, after much prayer, I just said, God said it's not for you. Your challenges and the ups and downs of your life, even just over the past 6 years, is something that will help someone else, whether it's a bad relationship, whether it is a sickness, whether it's depression, whether it's, anxiety, we know so many people that are going through, and especially now when the holidays just passed and, Valentine's Day is coming up and we've lost so many people. So that really was my incentive to write this book. And it's called Live, Love, Reset, God's Plan, the perfect person to get cancer and from adversity to prosperity. Now, I don't have, believe it or not, it's so new. We're still in pre-launch activity. And so the book that I actually have is like the editor's copy, and it still has this little line across it. But this is the book here. And I kind of go through the challenges that I've had. And I am very transparent, and in hopes that I can help someone understand that they are enough with their faith, with whoever their higher power is. If they just believe in themselves and know that with God on your side, whatever that is, will yourself enough to get through it. And trust me, I was the person that was trying to stand up and falling to the floor and crawling to the bathroom because I didn't have the strength. I was in so much pain. The cancer that I had was multiple myeloma, which is, blood bone cancer. And so it's all through your body. And I remember looking at the body scan that the doctor, my primary had given me. And I just broke down and cried. And I asked her, I was like, why is it all lit up from head to toe? And she was like, every place on that scan that's lit up is where the cancer is. And I remember I just cried because I was like, oh my God, it's from head to toe.
Wow.
And at that point, she didn't know what it was. So she said, it's definitely stage 4. It's very aggressive.
Oh
and I'm going to send you to an oncologist. And so I was going to my first appointment thinking, oh my God, I'm going to die. And then I was like, God, you got jokes, because you cannot bring me to all of this, with the TV show and all of this. And for me to just like go home to glory. I was like, you got jokes, you want me to do something else. And I got it, you want me to just slow down or something. But we found out that it was multiple myeloma, and that's why it was from head to toe. And it's not considered a stage, but it really is a stage. Stage 4 means it's all over your body. So it was all over my body. And at that point, the doctors were saying, all we can do is set you up on treatment quickly. That's what they were saying. All we can do. We don't know what's going to happen. And if it wasn't for our friend Michelle, she referred me, and she was like, I'm coming to go to this holistic doctor. And it's because of my holistic doctor that I'm here today. I mean, she literally watched everything that the doctors did, and everything that they were taking out of my body, she was putting back in. And it was just miraculous. And that's why the book is here, because I said, if I can show people how I maneuvered through, and there are some great perks in the book, some financial tips, that's a surprise. There's some financial tips in there. If I can help someone get through and maneuver through this bad time, then, I've done my job. Now, technically, I haven't worked for over a year, so we have to plan financially so that if something happens, we're financially prepared to handle it.
Yeah,
so
I love that.
That's why I did the book.
I love it. So, and I did want to circle back to that real quickly, because we're getting a little bit low on time, but I did want to circle back to that. First, I want to say, I'm so thrilled that you are here with a strong, powerful lady. I mean, I'm not surprised. You have the will of just 100 people. I've been so blessed to get to know you, and I'm just always in awe of you. And she does have a TV show, which, I was fortunate enough to be interviewed on, and so keep an eye on that, because I'm sure she's going to be doing that again. It's a financial program that talks to you about exactly that, things, for example, I was interviewed about selling your business and what happens, what do you do and how do you plan for that? So she interviews people about things that can happen and affect you financially, based in, your situations. But so I'm not surprised at all that you have come full circle. I am very excited to read your book. And I do understand very much business people more often than not are pretty private because, there's just so much and we just do what we do and let it keep going on. But I do want to circle back because one thing that you said, and I think this is really important to touch on in these times, is preparing for financial or life catastrophes, whether it is getting cancer and trying to figure out how to pay for it without working for a year, or whether it is, COVID and you can't work, your business shut down, or if it's your job shut down, not even your business, but your job shut down. What are you doing? Or it's, maybe you retired a little bit earlier than you thought, or maybe there was some other catastrophe. Maybe your spouse lost their job, or how are you going to take care of yourself? And that's one thing that I think so many people in our society right now are missing is it's not just, it's not about running a business. It's not about, being super successful one way or another, but how are you planning for yourself, paying yourself first and planning for yourself to enjoy your later life, but it's not just that, it's also enjoy your today life if something happens.
It is.
So talk about that for just a few minutes.
Okay. So, when you're talking about having a balanced portfolio, that means that it's about today, tomorrow, and the future. We're living longer. We're living 30 years past retirement, some more and some a little less. But what people don't understand is that they have to understand the dynamics of the plans that they're in. And I'm going to use a 401k as an example. The 401k wasn't designed literally for us in retirement. Actually, the retirement plan was called a pension. And, there is no more pension, unless you're grandfathered in, so we're looking for money that you can actually have in retirement. So you need, 7 streams of income in retirement. And people are not realizing that even if with their 401k, that money's going to run out, because people are thinking they're going to get that whole pot. You're not going to get that whole pot. So you got to do something else. You have to sit down with someone so that there is a great strategic plan. There's a goal. There's someone that's going to hold your hand to get you through to make sure that you are starting this retirement plan, or this life insurance, or this college savings, or this emergency fund, or creating this budget. But you got to sit down and do it. Husbands and wives need to come together and sit down and speak with, myself or one of my teams so that we can actually sit down and find out what everyone's goals are. The husband's goal is different than the wife. And more often than not, if they don't talk about it, they don't even know. They're just kind of going along every day, like, the gerbil on that wheel. We're just kind of getting up and doing the same thing that we do every day. So it's time to plan. It's time to be proactive. It's time to make a phone call. And, we would be really lucky to have you guys contact us and get a free financial assessment. And Connie, I wanted to kind of give that to your viewers that if anybody contacts me and they mention the show and your name, that their consultation would be free.
Absolutely.
Okay.
So if somebody wants to get in touch with you, Casey, how do they do that? Let's put that in the comments so that way I can make sure that people have that ability to get in touch with you.
Okay. So my telephone number is 1-866-586-9522. So I'll say that again, 1-866-586-9522. Or they can go to my website, which is www.caseybakerandassociates.com. So you just spell out the ampersand, caseybakerandassociates.com.
Excellent.
Or they can email me at Karen at caseybakerandassociates.com. And also, if they are interested in the book on my website, if they just go to Karen's story, they can actually get a link that'll take them to Amazon.
Very good. And I'm just adding this stuff in the comments right now. The book is on her website.
Yep, on my website, and it's called Live, Love, Reset, God's Plan, the
Very
perfect person.
good. So, and we do, I just wanted to point out, we have a couple of, somebody who's been commenting. Katina Rollins said, good afternoon. She said, congratulations on your book. And she also said, she loves your book. So I wanted to make sure we could see those.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, so we wanted to show those so everybody could see that too. And as we wind up, do me a favor and give us your go-to piece of advice. When you get stuck, obviously you've gone through some challenges and you can probably speak to this better than most. But when you get stuck in a situation, I think as an entrepreneur, a lot of times people run up against a brick wall or the concrete barrier. And, we are unfortunately taught in the entrepreneurial world subconsciously, or we think it, maybe that's the better way to say it, that, we just have to figure it out. We're not supposed to ask for help. We're supposed to know how to do this because we're doing something. And that's not true at all. Instead, we have to ask for help. And so I always ask our entrepreneurs that we interview, give us your go-to piece of advice, because we all hit that wall or that mud puddle. Tell us what it is that gets you out of it.
For me, I think that all of us should have a mentor. Someone who's done it, been there, has made the money, their business is a great success. You can see it. There's a history, someone that you can call in the midst of something going on. That to me is very, very valuable. And never give up. Rome wasn't built in a day, and it's going to take you a minute to get your rhythm. It's going to take you a minute to figure out what your niche is. It's going to take you a minute to figure out what market that you're going to actually go to. Don't give up. Don't give up. Don't listen to the naysayers. In your heart, this is something that you need to do to help others. Continue with it. Just keep going, with your prayer, have your plan, and just go for it. Don't give up. Never, ever.
I love it. I post inspirational stuff periodically, or motivational things that make you think. And actually, the one that I posted this week was just about just exactly that. It was, that miracle you're looking for is just on the other side of you quitting. So if you quit, you're never going to see it. So you can't ever stop. And I love that advice. That's fantastic. But I love even more the mentor. And I just wanted to touch on that for 1 second, and then we need to wind up. But the mentor thing, I think, is so important because people are afraid to ask for help and ask for advice. And almost always, if you see somebody that's doing it successfully and you ask for their thoughts, they're happy to share because they went through exactly that. They asked somebody as well.
Exactly.
Awesome. Karen, I can't thank you enough for being with me today. I'm so excited where you are in your life. I can't wait to see your book. I really appreciate your time, and I am just thrilled to have you in my circle of really amazing people. So thank you so much for all of your time and your wonderful advice.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
You're absolutely welcome. Guys, if you want to follow Karen, I added all of her information in our comments below. As she said, she's going to do a free consultation with you. If you want to talk to her about what to do, now's the time. Pick up the phone or email her. All of her information is right there. Definitely look out for the book, because I think it's something that we all could use about how to get through whatever you happen to be dealing with. And this lady is super insightful, and I know this book is going to be amazing. So definitely reach out to her. If you want to follow me, more of these interviews or other things, I work with brands, help people establishing their brands, creating a strategy across all of their brands, and telling their stories and getting all of the expertise out of their head out into the public. So to follow me or to get more information, ConnieFuchsa.com. Karen is Casey Baker and andassociates.com. And until next time, thank you so much for tuning in to Entrepreneurial Live Interviews today with Casey Baker. Bye-bye.
Thanks. Bye.